Hello, everyone. Welcome to today's live podcast interview with the amazing Gnarly K. Welcome. My name is Luke Lintott. I'm a lifestyle consultant, best-selling author, retreat leader. I'm currently located in Chiang Mai, Thailand, and my passion is helping people transform their bodies, their lives. I deliver complete mind, body, soul transformation. And before we begin, I want to mention that my life transformational 8-week coaching program begins next week. Lean, Loved, and Unstoppable, the reset. We'll be talking about it more at the end of today's live podcast. But today is not about me. Today, we are going to talk about something that is incredibly important that I think affects everyone. We're going to discuss becoming magnetic, the mindset behind health, love, and money. And as a coach of many years, I have noticed that nothing happens in isolation. When you transform your health, you transform your relationships. You will transform your career. You will transform your life. Okay, and that's why I'm so incredibly excited to be joined by my dear friend Gnarly. We met here at Nomad Summit. She is joining us live from Bali, and we are going to go deep into this topic. So if you're here live, do drop your questions and interact and even listen to the replay. Gnarly is a transformational coach, speaker, and certified master hypnotherapist and founder of Dream Academy. For more than 7 years, she has helped ambitious entrepreneurs and high performers overcome self-doubt, rewire limiting beliefs, and step into their most authentic, successful selves. What I love about Gnarly is not that she just teaches it, she embodies it. She's done the work herself, and she now helps thousands of people across the globe live extraordinary lives from the inside out. Welcome, welcome, Gnarly. I'm so happy you're here to the show. Thank you for joining us and our community. And for those of us that do not know you, that this is their first time seeing you, please just feel free to share more about yourself, your story, your why.
Yes, thank you so much for having me, Luke. It's so good to see you. And hello, everyone. Sending love from Bali. So, yes, my name is Narley K. I'm from Toronto, Canada. And I am on a mission to help people really understand and master their mind and build a beautiful life by mastering their mind. So, my journey started when I realized that, I love the personal development world, but I kept sabotaging myself one step forward, three steps back. And I just felt like I just wasn't breaking through until I found the tools to help me really actualize my potential. And since then, I've just been, doing my business on a mission, helping people do the same with these amazing tools to really just like get what you want out of life. I think that's why we're here. So I understand the struggle. I've come from a really troubled background, but I've used everything within me to transcend that. And I really preach like your past does not determine your future, and that's my MO. So yes, thank you, Luke. Excited for this chat.
Absolutely. Yes. And thank you for sharing a bit of your story, your why, and for your impact, Gnarly. And I'm just curious, like, what is your perspective on follow through? So I know a lot of people out there, especially in 2026, are inundated with information, quick fixes. And however, the hardest thing for so many of us is actually doing the thing. And I'm curious, like, what is the block? Like, what are people kind of not
Yeah.
doing internally, externally? Please tell me more on your perspective there.
Yeah. It's a very multi-layered thing, and everyone has their own flavor of block. I call them mindset gremlins, but it's a two-way thing, right? It's also the nervous system that also doesn't allow you to execute because you're just dysregulated or there's a lot of fear. And then there's also the mindset, the subconscious mind, who says, this is the belief, these are the rules that I live by, and now you're trying to switch up and do this, and it's like a conflict of identity, the conflict of beliefs, right? So you have the subconscious, you have the nervous system. If they're at odds, then it's going to create all of this resistance to pulling through, following through. I know that that's the case for me. Like I always had ambition, but I was self-sabotaging. I was holding back. I was fearful. I knew I should be talking on camera, but next thing you know, I'm doing the laundry and, going out with friends and avoiding the very thing. So it's multi-layered. Everyone has a flavor, whether it's fear of rejection, fear of abandonment, fear of, the mindset gremlin that runs your life. But yeah, it's your belief system and your nervous system. That's what I believe.
Absolutely true. And when did you first realize that it should come internally? Like mindset is one of the keys to
Mm.
success rather than
Yeah.
just doing the thing. Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Well, I've been an entrepreneur for 7 years, and I'm very honest. At the first 3 years, I was dead broke. I was sabotaging. I still wasn't in my full power because I still had things to overcome. And I feel like what really made it click for me is that I was hiring all the business coaches to give me the ABC. Even I had the ABC, the A to Z of how to monetize, but I still wasn't fully embodying a leader. I still wasn't fully trusting my own intuition. I was still in analysis paralysis because I didn't see myself the right way. My self-image was not aligned to my destiny, straight up, right? So for me, once I got in alignment with my nervous system, with my identity, with my belief system, I saw my entire business just literally quantum leap. And yeah, it wasn't the strategy. We all know what to do. Like there's, by the way, everyone, every strategy works. You want to post 10 times on Instagram, it works. If you want to post on YouTube, Substack, blah, 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 it works. But it's the identity and the mindset behind it that makes it pop off and click. So that was my case, and it's the case for so many people. But a lot of people think like strategy, 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 like let me be all places at once. And it's like, no, it's not about what you're doing, it's who you're being.
Absolutely. And on that note, in terms of who you're being, I would love to just hear you speak more about your own identity transformations. I've seen some amazing things on Instagram, social media beyond, but I'd love to hear
Mm,
from you. Like what journey have you gone through?
yeah. Oh God. I think that's what keeps me inspired because even from my childhood till now, like my inner child's like, you became who you are. Like I'm so different. It's the same vessel, but my mind is different because my self-image is different. So when it comes to entrepreneurship, everything, there's variables. I think it's knowing your worth as someone who provides value into the world, seeing that you're worthy of being paid, worthy of being listened to, worthy of having people trust you and all of worthy of being followed even on social media, you're worthy of that. And then there's that self-trust and confidence that like I have what it takes and my way works. So the identities, I call them identity backpacks. Like we were all born with certain identity backpacks. The one that I was born with and given as a child was the shy girl. So I went through life wearing the identity backpack as the shy girl, right? So imagine being the shy girl and then trying to be a public speaker. It's not going to work. You got to take off that identity backpack and put on a new one, right? So some of the identity backpacks I wear is the person to pay, a high value woman, a loved and sought after coach, right? Like the best option, right? How do you sell your programs or whatever when you are the best option? You're like, ah, yeah, you're not like, oh, I hope they buy. You're like, here you go. Let me tell you about, right? So everything that you do is filtered through your identity, right? You feel people's identity. We can tell when someone walks in the room and they love themselves and believe in themselves. It's a different vibration even, right? What else are my identity backpacks? The woman that has it all. Like energetically, I think your audience understands like the vibe, right? Like that kind of way. But yeah, I can go on and on, but I hope that gives you a little taste of my identity backpacks.
Absolutely. I love that idea of identity backpacks. Yeah, and the fluidity of it all, it can continue to change. And I'm curious too, like
Hmm.
this is something that we work on a lot in our masterclasses and programs. Like, what is the connection between self-worth and success? Like knowing you're worthy of this.
Ooh.
Yeah. Feel free to share more of your perspective on that. I'd love to hear it.
Yeah. Oh my God. I really struggle with my self-worth. And I sometimes feel like you don't even know how bad your self-worth is until you're kind of out of it. So it's a very like subconscious thing, your self-worth. But, if you don't feel worthy, if you don't feel confident, all of that, you're not going to charge as much. You're going to let people cross your boundaries. You're not even going to raise your hand for opportunities. You're going to self-sabotage. You're not going to see the light at the end of the tunnel, right? And then self-worth and money, they're cousins, like they're hand in hand. If you have a low self-worth, again, you're good. I struggled with money for years. Like I've been broke many times. And it wasn't until I saw myself as worthy, saw myself as capable, and trusted myself more that I was able to execute more, earn more, ask for more, right? So your self-worth essentially is how much you value yourself, right? Everything has value in this world, but a lot of coaches and people like us, sometimes they don't value their own value and they compare themselves to other people and say, oh, she's more valuable. There's other people that are more better than myself, right? And that comparison. So it can be a really slippery road. Everyone has their flavor of it, but if you struggle with money, self-worth first. Absolutely work on your self-worth. Yeah.
Absolutely, I couldn't agree more. It's so important. And on that note, like I'm curious, like, because I've noticed as a coach, oftentimes it's not just about transforming your body. You'll notice when people get fit, when they get muscular, lean inside and out, they feel good. This translates into their love life, into calling in aligned love, not another toxic relationship. I've seen clients literally have babies. I've also seen clients grow their businesses, scale their impact. In this time of transparency, of course, in 2026, people are wanting to support businesses that are run by people that are in alignment, not by people that are abusing, not listening to the signs of their own bodies and of course treating others well as well. So I'm curious, like why, this is a burning question I have. Why do health, relationships, and money often improve together?
Ooh. Well, that's the thing, life is definitely holistic. The way you do one thing definitely drips into the way you do other things, right? So when you start to see yourself worthy of money, then you start to realize, yeah, you have a higher estimate of yourself. So you're like, yeah, I deserve the best in relationships. I deserve the best in my body. I'm earning more, so I want to feel good too, right? So I think it's all linked. The higher your self-image and the higher your self-worth, the more that you just feel deserving, I guess I would say. And the more that you want better for yourself. Because I know when I was really insecure, I dated losers. I didn't date high. You know what I mean? Like you settle e easier, if that's the way to say it, right? Like you don't think there's much for you. You can't see beyond your current circumstance. But when you raise your self-esteem and self-worth, then you're like, wow, there's so much here in this world for me. And then that spills into who's surrounding you, who you're dating, how much you're earning.
Absolutely. So into it all. I love that. And the next thing, and I know you are an expert in this as well, Gnarly, is the nervous system, right? And I see this over and over that people are doing everything and anything in order to look good enough, in order to be ready for the love. But if your nervous system is out of whack, if you are not taking care of yourself, this can sabotage it all. And I'm curious, how does the nervous system affect our ability to create the life that we want?
Yeah, totally, totally. While I will say I'm more of a subconscious expert than a nervous system expert, I do have a solid understanding of it. And one of the things from me and my story, when I made the most amount of money, like my first time making a big chunk of money, my nervous system was really, really settled and regulated and safe, right? So that's a big variable when it comes to receiving, right? So when your nervous system is calm, you want to think of your nervous, the way I teach my clients is like when your nervous system is dysregulated, you want to think of it like a gate and the gate is really tight and there's nothing can really come through the gate because it's really you're tight, you're anxious, you don't feel good, right? But when your nervous system is relaxed, the gate opens up and more things can flow into you, clients, love, whatever else. Plus, it can flow in and also stay, right? So when my nervous system was open and calm and regulated and stable, I could be more consistent because I wasn't collapsing every time something triggered me or something didn't go my way, right? So I think it's just it's a very fascinating. I know there's a whole polyvagal. I'm not going to pretend to know all of it, but all I know is having that nervous system and the subconscious in alignment really moves mountains.
100% yes. And now let's move on to that subconscious arena, which I know you have so much expertise in. And I know like you've worked with so many clients, you've worked with thousands in Dream Academy and me and beyond in reprogramming, what we call those limiting beliefs, those false beliefs, and that we may have brought on upon ourselves or taught when we were growing up. Now, what's one limiting belief you see holding people back over and over again?
Yeah, the
Yeah.
number one limiting belief is I'm not good enough. All across the board. And I think it's a collective consciousness thing as well from our ancestors, from our parents. And even in our childhood, it's really easy to be like, oh, like I didn't get 5 gold stars. I'm not good enough. And boom, that, you know what I mean? Like it's because even from our school system, there's this like grading thing. So we're very programmed to measure ourselves as humans, which in my mind is completely toxic. Like, how can you measure a human's worth, right? But we're programmed and conditioned that way. But the I'm not good enough That's the number one belief, limiting belief that really is insidious too, because it shows up in different ways. It shows up in relationships, it shows up in money, it shows up in being heard because I'm not good enough. And there's flavors of that. I just reprogrammed a woman yesterday, and she had I'm not smart enough. And because she felt that she wasn't smart enough, she wasn't showing up and talking on camera because of that one belief. And we released that one belief, and the next day she was making a video, her doing yoga while talking on camera, right? So once you like delete the subconscious blocks, a whole new version of you can show up without that fear and, resistance.
That's incredible. Wow, like overnight, it sounds like there's a big shift for this client. I'm curious, like what are the steps people listening can take? And I'm curious what you do with your clients if you're comfortable sharing. Like what can
Yeah.
people do to rewire those beliefs? Yeah.
Yeah, I think the very first thing people can do is take a really honest look at their life and say, even like in life coaching school, they teach you like a really simple, like take a piece of paper, line down the center, what's working, what's not working, and just be honest about what's thriving in your life and what's not. And I had to do that for myself to really change my life. I was like, all right, Gnarly, you're at every crime scene of your life, right? You're the common denominator. So it is a you thing, and just own that, and then clean up your act, right? So whatever is not working, you want to start to ask yourself, why isn't it working? What belief is creating this reality? That's the number one question. What belief must I hold in here that's out picturing in my finances and my relationships, right? That's a quick way to just like reveal your unlimiting beliefs to yourself. Obviously, if you're with a coach, the coach will just do it for you, but you want to do it yourself, right? So ask yourself those hard questions. And then you and I, we do subconscious reprogramming. So tools like hypnosis, timeline therapy, EFT, and all that, you can definitely work with practitioners to do that. If not, what you want to do, depending where you're at in your journey, obviously I think investing in yourself is like the faster way. But one thing people can do is literally say, okay, I have this limiting belief that I'm not good enough. Okay, well, because I am the creator of my life, what belief do I want instead? Because we always have a conscious choice. Because once you're aware of the limiting belief, if you choose to continue with that limiting belief, then that's on you, right? If you're like, I'm not good enough, all right, that's it. Like, you know what I mean? Then that's a you problem, right? But if you're like, okay, I don't want this belief anymore, I want to counteract it, I want something in its place, then what is that new positive, empowering belief? The belief only sticks in place when you start to act on it, right? Because you're currently acting from the I'm not good enough. So, what would your life look like if you're acting from the I am good enough and then start to take responsibility of those behaviors? Whether that's waking up early, doing the uncomfortable things, investing in yourself, going to the gym, right? What would that belief look like in action? And once you start to action the belief, it sinks into the body and the subconscious even faster. And then you embody a new belief, right? It is the longer way. But with my clients, what we do is we use tools like hypnotherapy and timeline techniques to completely delete the block. And then once the mind rewires itself, it's like we're like computers, right? So if you uninstall the app, like your iPhone, if you have the app, I'm not good enough, and you uninstall that app, right? It reboots itself, and then you wake up and the belief is gone and you just go about your day. So there's rapid transformation as well, right? And you know, that's what I recommend if you can afford it and stuff like that. But other than that, just taking responsibility of how your life is and going in the opposite direction is the fastest way. That was a ramble, but
Absolutely. I
yeah.
loved it. Beautiful. Thank you. And on that note, like I know the focus today is it's simply about becoming magnetic, and I know in my own experience and what I've seen with my clients, it's not about chasing people, wanting to be seen, wanting people to come to us. It's about attracting. And part of that is becoming your best self. And I'm curious for you, what does it mean? What does becoming magnetic mean to you, Gnarly?
Hmm. Becoming magnetic to me means you are standing in your power. You know who you are. You know what you deserve. You're not looking to the 3D reality, to the external reality to give you anything because you're whole and complete within yourself, right? It's like when you need nothing, you attract everything, and that's magnetism. So I call it being self-sourced. When you have the love, the validation, the permission within you, you're self-sourced, the outside reality can't trigger you so much. You can't be, blown around so much. And that's magnetic, right? So really having that groundedness and saying, no matter if they buy, like, follow, I'm good. That's the frequency you want to tap into to be magnetic.
Wow, that's beautiful. And I'm curious, like people out there that they're like, this sounds amazing consciously, like listening to what Gnarly's saying,
Mhm.
but I'm not there yet. Like, what could someone do
Mhm.
to step into that frequency right now?
Mhm.
And someone listening to this podcast, yeah.
What could they do? They can ask themselves, what am I waiting for? What am I waiting for? What is that thing you're waiting for? Are you waiting for your audience to grow before you do the thing? Are you waiting for that man or woman to love you before you do something? Like, what are you waiting for? Whatever you are waiting for, permission, validation, approval, give it to yourself. You can do some mirror work, or you can just literally, tell yourself, you can just tell yourself, like, okay, I'm simply deciding that I am my source of validation. I am my source of love. And then go be that. Whatever that looks like, ask your intuition. If I truly loved myself or gave myself full permission, what next? If I gave myself all the validation that I'm looking for on social media and dating, what next? Oh, I'd buy myself flowers. Oh, I'd get a gym membership. Oh, I'd take myself on cute dates, right? Stop waiting, and that's how you become more magnetic in simple terms.
Absolutely. Stop waiting, y'all. You heard it right. And I know we're in this time of self-development where we are seeing a lot of quick fixes online, especially in terms of manifestation, whether it's manifesting your soulmate, your dream body, your dream business. And I'm curious, what have you seen people get wrong about manifestation and self-sabotage themselves?
Ooh,
What's been not
how
working with
much time you
people?
got? How much time you got?
We got time. You can say
How
it
much
all.
time
Yeah,
you
go as long as you
got?
like. Even this is a big one.
The common mistake with manifestation is not understanding the function of it, what it really is, right? So I'm what you call a logophile. I like to really look at the word, right? So manifestation, the word manifest comes from a Latin word that says manifestare, which means to reveal, to make public, to make seen. So manifestation is revealing what's in here, right? So think about manifesting your soulmate. You're not creating him or her from scratch. You're revealing the timeline where he or she already exists to reveal, to make seen, right? So how do we reveal that timeline? We align with it in our identity, in our action, in our beliefs, and in the way we see ourselves, right? So you can literally ask yourself, the version of me that's already with the thing, with the money, what does she or he know to be true? She knows she's worthy. She knows that people love to pay her. She knows that she's successful. She knows that she can trust herself, right? And the more that you align to that timeline and that version of you that already has it, you will have it, right? So what people fail with manifestation is they think it's about processes, but it's about identity. It's about who you're being. Your identity creates the manifestation. Your identity takes care of your vision. Your identity is what's running your business. So the question is, who are you in relationship to that manifestation? Let's say you want $10,000, right? When you want something, automatically your ego is like, well, I don't have it, right? And then the ego comes up and it's like, how is it going to work? Boo, that's the ego, right? Creating separation. But because you can even think of the manifestation of $10,000, that means there's a timeline, quantum reality that's sending an echo saying you already have it. So when you have a desire, don't back down. Get excited. Start to question the desire. Well, if I did have it, what would I be doing? How would I be thinking? How would I be showing up? Right? People overcomplicate manifestation because they don't fully understand the mechanics of it. So I would tell them to start there with understanding how reality works and then also realizing this world, this universe. Sorry, Luke, I'm rambling.
I love it. Yeah.
This world, this universe, if you want to say that there's one belief system, one law to rule them all, one law to rule them all, it would be the law of beliefs. Whatever you believe to be true will be true. And if you want to just use that one belief to move about your life, you'll be extremely powerful. If you believe they're going to love you, they will love you. If you believe you're going to fail, you will fail. Life is about your beliefs, period. And your beliefs are also flowing from your identity, right? So yeah, I can say a lot about manifestation as you can tell, but key thing is to understand what it really is and to focus on the identity, the version of you that already has it. You're not manifesting things. You're manifesting yourself, the version of you that already has it. That's manifestation.
Absolutely. I love that. And the law of belief is so important. I know studies show
Mhm.
that 80% of what you expect manifests three-dimensionally. So it's
100%.
important to be careful
100%.
what you think about. And with that
Yeah.
in mind, so with people out there that are feeling like, okay, I'm ready. I want to manifest the love. I want to manifest the relationship, the body, the
Yeah.
life. What is the first step they could take to get closer to this three-dimensional desire and internal desire,
Yeah.
possibly?
For sure, for sure. Some good old journaling helps, and to really ask yourself self-inquiry, like, why don't I have it? What part of me doesn't want it? Because we can consciously want something, right? We can consciously want to be seen and blow up on social media, but subconsciously we might have a fear of being seen, being attacked, being judged, right? And the invisible runs the visible, right? Carl Jung, until you make the unconscious conscious, it'll run your life and call it fate, right? So remember, we have two parts of our brain, conscious, subconscious, but they're working together. What happens is the subconscious is going to the right and your conscious mind is going to the left. I want the love. Subconscious, like, nah, we're going to get hurt, for example. And then you have this internal resistance or this tug of war, right? So, yes, have the desire, but question honestly, why don't I have it yet? What part of me is resistant to it? And then work on those beliefs, because the more that you work on the beliefs that are opposing your desires, the quicker you'll collapse time and experience your manifestation. Yeah.
Absolutely. That's so powerful. Yes, collapse time. And so I'm curious with that in mind, like if you could talk more about the subconscious reprogramming that maybe you've done on yourself, maybe you've seen with your clients, and just for people that have heard a little bit about it, maybe they even think it's woo-woo and they're like, I know that I need to do this. I'm doing the things, but maybe I'm not believing. I'm not actually doing the reprogramming. Like, why is this helpful? Why have you seen this is helpful? And yeah, tell us more.
Yeah, where to start with that? Well, I first came into hypnosis, hypnotherapy when I was a cigarette smoker, and it was all kind of just how the universe aligned. But I quit a 10-year cigarette addiction in 1 hour through hypnosis. And for someone who was into manifestation and becoming her best self, I was like, well, if it can shift this addiction in 1 hour, what else can it do? So I guess to understand it is to understand that your subconscious mind is running 95% of your life. If your conscious mind had to think about every single thing, the way that your blood's flowing, blinking your eyelashes, it would be too overwhelming for you. So, whatever you want to call it, God, divine intelligence created the subconscious mind that takes care of the things that are out of mind, subconscious. But the subconscious mind is also the storehouse of our feelings, our memories, our belief systems, our fears, right? So that's where it's like, there's two parts of us, right? Just like this iPhone, this is the best analogy. You can see the face of the iPhone, just like you can see my face, but behind the iPhone is a whole nervous system, apps and whatever else that's firing and making it operate, right? So human beings are the same thing. But the thing is, sometimes we have faulty apps. I don't believe in myself. I'm not good enough that are running the show, right? So when you delete those apps or program in a new or install a new app, just like we're robots, right? You will function differently, right? So whenever someone's struggling with a belief or a fear for years, like years and years of insecurity or anxiety or money struggles like I had, it is a program running. It is an app that is 95% on autopilot, essentially what's happening, right? And until you identify that program and delete it and rewire it, it's going to keep running, simply put, right? So hypnotherapy, timeline therapy, even EFT tapping is a form of reprogramming. It helps uninstall those unwanted habits and belief systems so you can operate better. You can re-upgrade or upgrade the iOS system that is your mind, right? So, yeah, so I use timeline therapy, which is a form of finding out when was the very first time you ever felt that I'm not smart enough belief, right? For my client, the very first time she ever in her entire life felt that I'm not smart enough was when she was 3 years old. So using that tool as we go into the subconscious mind, go back to that memory of when she was 3 years old, and quite literally, it's hard to explain because, subconscious work is such a, but we delete and rewire and install a new story about who she really is, that she is good enough. And then, boop, you put that new belief in place, right? You pull out the weed of the I'm not smart enough and you put in a new seed, and then it will sprout, right? So we're quite literally robots, but we're also like very cosmic beings. But I call it the human versus the soul, right? The human is the programming, that I'm not good enough, the what mommy and daddy said, but then we have our soul, our higher selves, our flawless selves. But because we're on this planet, we do need to look at the human self, the programming that's also creating suffering within us. Yeah.
Absolutely. Thank you for sharing. That sounds incredible. And I would love to hear too, of course, about your perspective, Gnarly. Like I've seen a little bit on your Instagram and also number two at your workshop here in Thailand, where you talked about your experience, like going from being a receptionist to this amazing coach who's now literally in Bali. I think you've been abroad for multiple years, and it's just so incredibly inspiring. And I'm curious, like if you could go back to your shadow self at whatever stage you desire, what advice would you give to her? Maybe a form of your former self is listening to this podcast now. Like, what advice
Yeah.
would you tell her at this moment in your life experience?
Thank you for that question. It makes me a bit emotional, actually. I would tell her to have faith, you know. We are being supported. The universe will meet us halfway, but we have to move. The universe is taking its cues from us. It's not going to move until we move. So go first. I had so many fears and so many years wasted that I just held myself back. Fear of judgment, fear of rejection, fear of failure, fear of being seen, like all of it, all the concoctions, But it was like I didn't trust. I didn't have faith in myself. I didn't trust that if I just you know, did that baby step, even those baby steps. So trusting yourself and then realizing you really aren't missing anything but self-belief. A lot of success comes down to how much you believe in yourself. So focus on your confidence. It's that missing piece, that confidence that whether you can or you cannot, you're right. Right. So really have that self-esteem, see yourself in a higher regard. I used to see myself so small and so insignificant and so unimportant that I just didn't even try. I was kind of like defeated through life. I don't know if anyone's ever felt that way, but you just kind of feel like apathetic, like, and I feel sad for that version of me, but I know why, right? So, and invest in yourself also. Like, don't be afraid to there's other people. That was the thing for me. When I first came to Bali, I saw like a girl living my dream life, and I'm like, well, like if she's living my dream life, then you know what I mean? So there is someone out there living your dream life, and make sure it's you in this lifetime. Like there's nothing being withheld from you. There's nothing being withheld from you. You can have whatever you want. You just have to align with it and do clean up your junk.
Absolutely. So beautiful, so inspiring to hear your story, to see where you literally are geographically. And then number two, I'm curious because this is a big thing that I've noticed with a lot of my clients is that it kind of people get fatigued with the no's, right? The dates that don't work out, they
Mhm.
get tired of like being, falling down and getting back up, whatever it is, whether it is in the fitness journey, it's in the love, it's in the self-worth and all the personal development. And people have even told me like, Luke, I desire to be graceful with myself and love myself where I'm at right now. And I'm curious, like how do you recommend to, of course, maybe yourself, maybe your clients, how do you deal with the no's and the things that don't work out and shift your perspective
Yeah.
on those as you keep going? Because we need to stay consistent, right? Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. So because I've worked on my identity a lot, when things don't go my way, I just assume that they are going my way. Like
Okay.
even if it looks like whatever, I don't care. I've already decided in here. So remember, there's this analogy that I got from this woman that I really love. It's the art of detachment, right? And she says to imagine that there's a million doors, right? And your desires are going to come through one of the doors. But if you're stuck on door number two and you're trying to jangle it and try to get your outcome from that one launch or that one client, you have to detach and understand that no matter what, your desires will come through one of the fucking doors, pardon my French, but you have to also detach and just keep trusting and keep doing your part. So for me, when I'm like, oh, that client didn't sign up with me, well, whatever, there's another door, right? I don't get too caught up. I don't need my 3D reality, my client, my audience, anyone to tell me who I am. So in that case, when you were feeling defeated or rejected or hearing no's, work more on your self-validation and your self-approval and just have that mindset that I'm one step closer, like this is all unfolding perfectly for me. Like no matter what, my desires desire me. So this is not a absolute no, this is just not this door. You know what I'm saying?
I love that perspective. There's so many ways to get where you desire to go. It's like maybe the way that you may think that you want to go is not the way, right? There's so another door. I love
Exactly.
that. Thank you for sharing. And another thing that just came to me intuitively is like, and literally people have brought this up to me. What do we do with the trolls, the people that actually want you to fail? Okay. And I know, and I wanted to mention the two perspectives that just came to me off the top of my head. There's the Cardi B method, where I know Cardi B mentioned in one of her interviews, she would spend an entire day mess commenting with people like negative comments, and she got a lot of traction, right? It helped her, but she
Really?
regrets wasting time like giving those
Hmm.
people attention when, having those,
Mhm.
disagreements on publicly. Now, the other perspective is like Oprah Winfrey mentioned in one of her
Mhm.
interviews, she doesn't even read negative comments and she doesn't even allow commenting on her Instagram. And so I'm like, what is your personal preference and perspective? And what do you recommend to people out there that are like, ooh, I want to get visible, but what about these trolls that are gonna come and direct message me, etc., so on and so forth, or in person? Yeah.
Totally. Totally. I say know thyself. Know your intention. Who's going to come into your house and tell you who you are, right? It's like, yeah, they might have that negative thing to say, but do they know me? Do they know my story? Do they know my heart? No, right? You have to, I think emotional intelligence comes from understanding what to give your attention to, right? So if this person's coming into your field and saying, you're stupid, what you're saying is wrong, it's like, and you are, you know what I mean? Like, who the fuck are you? Right? So use your emotional intelligence when it comes to these trolls and pay them no mind because haters are confused lovers. They're still giving you your energy, right? Like at the end of the day, but don't go into this thing where you're unsafe and social media is out to attack you. A lot of people go into that, like you're going to be attacked, and it's not true. It's don't put your energy there. Show up for your people. And remember, people have the right to not like you. It's a very sobering thing I want people to understand. People can judge you. People judge me all the time. Some people think I'm full of it. It doesn't matter because I know my heart. I know the mission God's put in my heart, and I know the value of my work. So that's why I say know thyself, know who you are, know your heart, know what you're here to do in this world, and pay them no mind because it's pointless. It's quite literally pointless. I'm more on the Oprah Winfrey side. And yeah, I would just delete and block. I've had maybe one or two comments in 7 years of like a hater. I just block, well, goodbye. Like it's a fly. It's like a fly in your kitchen. Get the fuck out. Yeah, who are you? You
Yeah,
know?
I love that. Yeah, delete and block. I always think of a blocking as a blessing. They can go on their way, find
Mm,
someone they match with, and we can
yeah.
also protect our energy. Yes, love that. And the next thing
Mhm.
I'm curious, and everyone here live, drop your questions below. We are going to check Facebook at the end of our podcast, and we'll respond to actual questions of those
Oh,
here. I
cool.
was wondering, who are you becoming? What are you stepping into as you
Oh.
continue to be this amazing subconscious reprogramming? And so on and so forth.
Who am I becoming? Yeah, so many things. I feel so driven to help more people and to awaken more people. I see myself as a catalyst. People come into my field and I accelerate their progress. So I just want to be a catalyst in this world. I want to be a doer of good to make people wake up to their power. A lot of people don't understand their power. So, I want to hold space for people. I want to illuminate people, awaken them, liberate them from their minds. And yeah, I want to build more community. I feel like even meeting you, Luke, when you meet like-minded people and you really get those people in your community, like I'm sure we both know such amazing people, but like I love bringing people together. And I used to be a very lone wolf. I used to be very like, fuck people. But now I'm more coming into Bali and being in Southeast Asia. I want more community and I want to really hold space for more community. So I'm becoming a community leader, more speaking gigs and more, reaching a broader audience and yeah, just continue to be a catalyst for people in their growth.
Absolutely beautiful. And with all that in mind, I'm curious, like, what are you glad that you did do to get where you are today, since you've come so far? Yeah, what are you glad that you
Just
did do?
start. Just start. I'm just glad I started, honestly. I don't know. Sometimes you just have that vision, but I ate shit. I fell down so many times. I failed so many launches. Please know that success is a series of failure. I've fallen down. I've so much, so many nights of like, what am I doing? Like, I've questioned myself. But there came a point in my career where I was like, okay, Narly, if you could really get this coaching business off the ground, like, no bullshit, would you do it? Would you do it? And it was like, yeah, I would. I was like, all right, clean up your act, go all in. And that's required, that going all in. The first 3 years, I wasn't fully going all in because I still cared about other people's opinions. But once you really just dive into your mission and be mission driven and just listen to one one source universe, one God, and do what you need to do. Your people will find you. Your people will find you every single time, but you have to shine your light. Do it scared. I did it scared. I did it confused. I did it messy. Messy action is still action, right? Just move, keep moving, and never give up. Yeah.
Keep moving and never give up. Absolutely. So good. I so appreciate your energy and your wisdom. This has been a fabulous interview. And I'm just wondering if do you have any last words of wisdom for anyone tuning in now live or watching the replay?
Mm. Understand that your unconscious mind will be with you for the rest of your life. And it's really important to understand that the invisible is running the visible. So don't be afraid of it. It's actually on your side, but do that deeper work. It pays off in so many ways when you start to do the belief system work and the shadow work and the work that a lot of people avoid and really look at who you're being in this world, right? And look fear in the face and do the work. That's my do the work. It pays off beautifully. It does. It's uncomfortable, but do the work.
Absolutely do the work. Yes. And with all that in mind, Gnarly, like for people that are vibing with you now or in the future, where can they connect with you? Who should connect with you and where can they find you?
Yes. So I hang out on Instagram the most. My handle is at Narley K. I'm sure it'll be in the show notes. I am for the visionaries, the leaders, the coaches, the creatives that just know they haven't fully actualized their potential and feel like they've read the books, done the podcast, all the things, but they're still not breaking through. So if you're looking for your breakthrough, if you're looking for your next level, being authentically yourself, then come hang out. Come hang out. Get in touch.
Absolutely. Well, I just want to thank you so much for your time. Is there anything else that you wanted to mention we didn't have a chance to talk about during today's podcast interview, Gnarly?
Yeah, well, we talked about that I'm the founder of the Dream Academy, and that's my brainchild. And I created this five-step method to help people break through their deepest blocks and to actualize their identities and be their biggest, grandest selves. So, yeah, I have an academy. I also do sessions, and I'm just available all around. So, if you're curious, just, lurk me on Instagram, shoot me a message, give me a follow, get in touch. And yeah, the Dream Academy is my baby. And yeah, I'm here for all the people. Yeah.
Well, I'm so excited for you. Do connect with Gnarly. I highly recommend her, and she's doing some amazing things online and offline. And those of you that are watching this, we would love to hear from you. Drop your comments, drop your reviews below if you're listening to this on Spotify or iHeartRadio, and the list goes on, and or Instagram. Number two, I did want to give everyone a very warm invite to the upcoming Lean, Loved, and Unstoppable the Reset, my 8-week coaching program. We begin next week. The focus is getting strong in your body, following through, and becoming unstoppable, calling in aligned love, deepening connection. So if you're interested in more information, I'll include the link in the bio as we are officially dropping it tomorrow by email. But anyways, thank you so much, Gnarly, for your time, your
Thank
presence. Once again,
you.
for your workshop here in Chiang Mai, Thailand, and the list goes on. Like you continue to transform lives, and I have heard fantastic things about people that have worked with you, and so I just wish you the absolute best in everything that you're doing. And thank you so much for your time. And I hope that you all have a wonderful day wherever you are in the world. Drop your biggest takeaway below and do stay connected and do continue doing that reprogramming work and believing in yourself. You matter. See you all next week at the reset. And well done, everyone who has been showing up for yourselves, whether it's working with Gnarly, whether it's working with me, it's working with someone.
Yeah.
Don't do it alone. You're worth investing in you and doing that deep identity work. Thank you all so much. Have an amazing day. Cheers,
Thank
love, and
you. Bye,
health.
Luke.
Bye
See
bye.
you.
Thank you so
Bye.
much. Bye bye, everyone.